The people of the Outback who live in the far-flung places are the keepers of our heritage, custodians of our wide brown land. They have lived and worked in the Outback for over a century. The heart of the Outback is in bush towns, where people hold dear the unique culture of their communities. The state government's local government reforms and forced council amalgamations will drive a stake into the beating heart of Outback Queensland and kill bush towns. Queenslanders cannot allow these local government reforms to strip us of our democratic rights. This fight is not a political one, but rather a fight for the Aussie fair go. In the Queensland Outback, forced amalgamations will not work due to the massive areas Shire councils are already responsible for. Diamantina Shire is 95,000 square kilometres, or twice the size of Denmark. Adjoining Boulia Shire, 60,000 square kilometres, the size of Tasmania. Population is not the issue out in the west of the state, it is the size in area of the Shire that is important. These huge shires need and deserve to retain their elected council and their own administration. Forced council amalgamations in the Outback will mean that elected mayors and councillors will be sacked and replaced by one or two representatives who will have little or no voice at a super shire council meeting hundreds of kilometres away from their own town. It is not reasonable for the government to expect Queenslanders to believe that such huge areas of our state currently looked after by Outback councils and their communities do not need local government, do not need administration. All the inland people are asking for is a fair go, a genuine commitment from the government to take the time to listen and understand their unique circumstances before they make decisions that will be disastrous for the Outback towns of Queensland. The domino effect of sacking all administration staff and closing the council chambers would be catastrophic for small Outback towns. The social fabric of communities will be ripped away and community events like races, rodeos, camp drafts, camel races and cattle drives may cease due to a shortage of volunteers. Each and every Outback Queensland town has its own very distinct culture and identity. Families in the West generally stay put, and they have a very strong sense of home and community. Generations of people have worked on councils in the Outback, and the local council has been the one constant in times of trouble throughout history. As Outback towns decline and die, social centres will disappear. No banks, no schools, no medical help, no services, making it impossible to attract and retain a workforce to operate the highly productive grazing industry that earns hundreds of millions of dollars annually for our state and nation. At a time when the tourism industry statewide has seen neutral growth, tourism in the Outback has grown by 13%. Small Outback towns have character, charm, history, and a unique identity which is fascinating to visitors. Forced amalgamations may see many of these interesting and culturally rich towns disappear from the map, and we as a state and a nation will be so much poorer for the loss. Our Outback, your Outback, has so much to offer, rich in resources like artesian water, rangelands and minerals. It creates enormous wealth and prosperity for our state. It holds the very heart of our heritage and culture, but most of all, it is the home of the Outback people, the bushies who love and understand it, and who are committed to looking after it. The state government has changed the Local Government Act and removed our right to a referendum on amalgamations. Forced amalgamations threaten the fabric and indeed the very existence of Outback towns. Queenslanders don't want this to happen. Outback people have rallied and marched in towns throughout the West. The fight for their towns began in Barcaldine on May the 8th. Outback people do not have sufficient numbers to have any impact on governments.
Outback plea. On that fateful April day, Beatty took away our say. He threw out SSS and left us in a mess. He wants us all to amalgamate. Why should he dictate? How we live, how we play, how we think, what we say. Our towns may be small, but they are strong. If you think we are weak, you are wrong. Mr. Beatty will fight you to the end, so listen to the message that we send. Super shies are something you will regret, a mistake you will never forget. Please don't destroy our outback towns, our people, our jobs, our outback sounds.
They are at the mercy of ruthless and radical reforms, and they need your help. This is a call to Queenslanders to support your outback mates, to go to the website and sign our petition.
Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Down came a jumbuck to drink at the billabong. Up jumped the swagman and grabbed him with glee. And he sang as he stuffed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me.
Let your voice be heard and save our bush towns. Do it now. With your help, we can keep the spirit of the Outback alive. Go to www.localdemocracy.com.au.